Hello everyone. We will first have to prove ourselves in the Trial of the Crusader before we begin our solo march on Icecrown Citadel. I'll be doing this run on 10 man heroic since I couldn't do it on 25 man. For my talents I have Long Arm of the Law, Fist of Justice, Selfless Healer, Clemency, Sanctified Wrath and Execution Sentence. For my buffs I have Drums of Forgotten Kings, Blessing of Might, Flask of Titanic Strength and Black Pepper Ribs and Shrimp. I'll first explain the fight on heroic mode and at the end I'll talk about the achievements. Talk to the NPC at the entrance to start your trials. The first fight is against the Northrend Beasts, starting with Gormak the Impaler and his snowballed friends. The snowballs will throw fire at you, and Gormak will stun you, place a stacking dot on you called Impale, and he will place a snowball on your back. Focus your DPS on Gormak and kill him as fast as you can, while avoiding the fire on the floor. You can use a bubble to remove any debuffs on yourself if you want to. Kill the snowballs once Gormak is dead and do this before the next boss starts to attack. The snowball on your back is a little bit difficult to attack. I kill him by using my judgment whenever it's off cooldown. Acid Maw and Dreadscale will enter your arena after you've killed Gormak. I switch to Seal of Insight to survive their damage. Acid Maw will place a paralytic toxin on you, while Dreadscale places Burning Bile, which deals fire damage but also removes the toxin. Place the two worms next to each other and kill Acid Maw first. The toxin will stun you if you don't get the Burning Bile, and that could be lethal. A bubble will remove your stun, but it's a bit of a gamble, so make sure to kill Acid Maw first, so that you don't have to worry about getting stunned. Dreadscale will enrage after you kill Acid Maw, and this will increase his damage dealt by 50%, but it's very healable. Icehowl is the last beast to defeat and he's rather easy. He will mostly stun you until he comes charging towards you. Move out of his way and he will charge the wall instead, stunning himself and increasing his damage taken. At that time, pop your cooldowns and claim your victory. Next you face Jaraxxus. Interrupt his fell fireball as much as you can. If it hits you, use Devotion Aura to reduce some of the damage. Destroy the nether portal before he summons his adds. He can also spawn a volcano, but I killed him before he did. He is a very easy boss.
Your master calls.
The next fight is called Factions Champions, and you either fight champions of the Alliance or of the Horde. Pop your cooldowns and focus your DPS on the healers first. You can stun or daze them, but they will have a PvP trinket on heroic mode. The classes that spawn are random, but you always have 2 healers. I focus my DPS on the druid first, and then I kill the paladin, and if you manage to kill 1 healer, you've pretty much won the fight. I could explain about the totems, about Shadow Priest, about CCing, but it's really not necessary. If you kill 1 healer, the fight is over, you can just take them out one by one.
Tragic victory. We are weaker as a whole from the losses suffered today. Who but the Lich King could benefit from such foolishness?
Next up are the Twin Val'kyr, Viola Lightbane and Aegis Darkbane. Don't be like me and run around the room, instead fight them where they spawn. 4 portals spawn on the field, 2 dark portals and 2 light portals. Clicking on one of the portals will allow you to DPS its counterpart and absorbs damage from its source. For example, if you take the dark portal, you'll be able to DPS the light Valkyr and you'll absorb dark damage. Black and white orbs will float around the field during the encounter. Getting hit by the opposite color of your portal will deal damage, so in this case, if you have the black one, getting hit by light orbs will deal damage. Getting hit by the dark orbs will give you a stack. Once the stack reaches 100, you'll get a buff that increases your damage done by 100% for 20 seconds. You can pretty much ignore this mechanic when you solo, just make sure to avoid the opposite color of your portal. Twinspect will shield one of the twins as they cast the spell. Dealing damage will break the shield and will allow you to interrupt them. Say that you have the dark portal on you and the dark twin is casting it, then make sure to switch to the light portal, otherwise you won't be able to do enough DPS. Failing to interrupt this spell will allow them to heal for 50% of their health, so it's very important that you interrupt it. They can also cast either Light Vortex or Dark Vortex. Switch to either Light or Dark to absorb the damage. A message in your screen will tell you what essence you need to get. Absorbing the damage will add to your stacks and it will give you the 100% damage increase. That's why you don't have to worry about the little orbs. The twins can hurt, so switch to Seal of Insight if you have to. The final boss is Anub'Arak, and he is very challenging. Part of it will be timing and part of it will be simple luck. I wiped a lot on this guy until I received my 4-piece set bonus, which reduces the Hammer of Justice cooldown. That doesn't mean that you actually need this set bonus, it's just what changed for me between wiping on him and actually killing him. You'll see white orbs floating in the air. Hitting an orb will create a patch on the floor, which will either prevent the ads from submerging, or it will prevent Anub'Arak from hitting you in phase 2. I'll explain more about that later on. And the entire fight comes in 3 phases. In phase 1 I pre-pot at the start with a potion of Mogu's strength, but I save my cooldowns for when the first ads spawn. Anub himself isn't a huge problem. He hits you with melee, deals a bit of frost damage, and he will put you in an ice block. The problem begins when the ads hit you. The 2 ads that spawn can place a debuff on you called Exposed Weakness. This will increase your physical damage taken by 25% and it stacks up to 9 times. I want to avoid getting the debuff, so I use my cooldowns when the ads spawn to kill them as fast as possible. The ads can also submerge under the ground, and you can prevent this by finding them on a frost patch, stunning them, or by killing them before they're done casting. If they submerge, they'll heal to full health and they'll rejoin the fight later on, so it's very important to actually kill them before they go underground. Anub'Arak himself will go underground after around 90 seconds, and this will begin phase 2. You can skip phase 2 by DPSing him below 30%, but I don't recommend doing so. Phase 2 will give your cooldowns time to reset, and you'll need that damage increase in the final phase. Get Anub as close as 30% as you can, and then wait for phase 2 to begin. Small ads spawn during this phase and they die in 1 or 2 hits. Anub will try to spike you from under the ground and you can prevent him from doing so by guiding him to a patch of frost. A Hand of Freedom will remove the slowing effect as you walk over the patch. Keep guiding him around until he comes back and then DPS him to 30% as fast as you can. On heroic mode, ads keep spawning in phase 3 and Anub uses Leeching Swarm. Leeching Swarm takes away 20% of your current health and gives this to Anub'Arak. I notice my health dropping very fast and that 2 new ads are coming. I use my bubble when they get close and this prevents all damage, even that of Leeching Swarm. I keep on DPSing and thankfully manage to take him down before my bubble expires. Like I said, part of it is timing and part of it is simple luck. Doing TOC on 10 man heroic will give you the Call of the Grand Crusade 10 player achievements and Call of the Crusade 10 player. But there are more achievements to earn. I recommend to do TOC on normal mode if you're going for these, but it's entirely up to you. The first one is Upper Back Pain and it requires you to kill the Beast of Northrend with at least 2 snowballs alive. Ignore the snowballs that fall from Gormak as you kill him and keep them alive throughout the other fights. Avoid the fire and kill the other bosses. Not 1 but 2 Drummongers requires you to kill both worms within 10 seconds of each other. DPS both of them to around 10% and then finish them off. .360's Pain Spike requires you to defeat Jaraxxus with at least 2 Mistresses of Pain alive. This makes the fight a waiting game, so switch to Seal of Insight. Stay alive and wait for Jaraxxus to summon 2 of his heads, then pop your cooldowns and kill him. Resilience will fix it, requires you to kill the enemy heroes within 60 seconds of each other. With our current DPS, the fight will be over within 2 minutes, so this really shouldn't be a problem. The same goes for Salt and Pepper on the Twin Val'kyr, which requires you to kill them in 3 minutes or less. Like I said, we have plenty of DPS to do this. The last achievement is the Trader King, and this one is a bit of a challenge to solo. It requires you to kill 25 swarm scarabs within 30 seconds, and these scarabs spawn during phase 2. That means that you'll have to survive long enough to reach phase 2 for a second time before you can AoE them down. The scarabs themselves will place a stackable debuff on you which deals nature damage, so eventually it can get a bit overwhelming. I already have this achievement, so I can't say for sure that I killed 25, but it looks pretty close. Get a friend to help you if it turns out to be too hard. That's all the info I have for you on Trial of the Crusader. Good luck, I hope this guide will be helpful. Subscribe if you like my videos, and until next time guys, see ya!